The purpose of my videos is to document things that I've done or had to research or find out, or in this case, the build of someone special's axe.
Time. Uh, we've put off doing this for a long time. We're making Amy's axes. And the reason. All right. So first thing we had to do is pick out a head. You know, I was just playing with this one a minute ago.
And now I decided I talk too much. I'm describing all these different heads that I'm looking at. Um, Pretty much it's a it's tangential information. It's a distraction. So I just am cutting it here. Show you that I went through a number of heads to carefully select this wood slasher. So we chose. Somebody had shined it up, but you see it right there on the left. It's got the ridges in the eye. So this is a true temper Kelly wood slasher. It would have originally been red in color. There is a little bit of red paint left over inside of the eye, but the ridges in the eye, those are very distinctive characteristic of the wood slasher. That's why your axe at the top has conical wedges in it. It's to make sure the wood presses past those ridges and gets up firm up against the sides of the eye, just to make sure that doesn't come off. And remember, anything that happens to your axe, if you get a nick, if you need it rehung or the handle breaks, lifetime guarantee, I will fix that immediately for you. And again, I'm just cutting this out because I am describing all the characteristics of the handles and how I made the choice of checking grain, talking about length, decided to get you a beaver tooth.
Boy, now I don't know. It's between the 28-inch one Mark Sweet and this beaver tooth. Let's do beaver tooth because then I'm going to match your other handle to your bigger handle. Okay, we just need to do a little nibble.
Now, beaver tooth, I'm very impressed with their handles. First of all, they're very generous with the wood. They're pretty thick, they're pretty fat. It says utility, it's grade 2, but you can't tell. Full length continuous grain with hardly any run out at all. That's an excellent handle.
Thought maybe you might want to see what I see when I'm doing this.
See what I mean? He leaves a lot of wood. I've got a lot of thinning to do.
Okay, Amy, that feels really good. That feels really good in my hand. So I've thinned it down this way. I've thinned it this way. And remember trying to get it under 3/4? We're right at 3/4. That's good. That's good. There, we don't have to fuss with it any more than that. 3/4. Why is it good? Because now I got to sand it again after I put it in here. See that? You want that. That's going to be easier on your hands. Let's see. And we got it in line with the blade now. One thing left to do. Said I wasn't gonna, but I see interesting things with this wood. Discolorations and stuff. Let's see what happens. If I don't like it, I'll take it off. Remember, we got enough wood on here. But if I flame it and I don't like it, I'll just sand the flame off. But I have to do this before I hang it, because this will leave a white line there if I don't. Because the metal takes too long to heat up, and it takes too long to cool down if I ever got it that hot. And why do we toast them again? Because that's party. Nothing makes hickories grains, makes the contrast in the grains come out the way flame does. You can put a stain on here. Stain isn't going to do that. See how they pop where the head goes on. And then traditionally you did this because, you know, manufacturers offered this in their catalogs. You could get flame treated handles if you wanted. They would treat the handles over an open flame and then rub the char, sand the char off, because it makes it more dent resistant. So you get a harder surface where you toast it like this. But it's also sets it. So it prevents, well, it's supposed to help prevent against warping. Gives it a little bit of protection. Charred wood doesn't rot easy, doesn't soak up water very easy. And when it's hot like this, it will take the boiled linseed oil right away, man. Suck it right in there. Some people don't like to do this because now when I'm getting down here toward the end, there's a risk that on a humid day like this, that wood might have absorbed some moisture and it'll pop. Well, that worked. That worked. So that's pretty. Okay, here's where we are so far. We got the patterns done. I put the antiquing on and let it sit overnight. To get the roses to be red, what we did was we put some repellent on there. Got this Resolene. It's usually what I use for a finish. But when I put it on the roses, I put it on with Q-tips like this and just dabbed it on there. That keeps the antiquing from sticking here, and that will rub off. And any place there's a depression, it goes in darker. And what that gives it is kind of a cool, I mean, it's on this one a little bit. Different rose pattern I was doing. But if you don't do that, it's just solid red. And to me, that's kind of boring. And, well, I don't know. If I was doing a blue one, I might leave it uniform blue. I don't want a uniform color here. I like it blotchy like that. Antiquing is what they call it. Alright, so now I need to make the welt. And the welt is a strip of thick leather that's going to go in between here and down here so that your blade rests against that. It does not rest against stitching that I'm going to put in, and it will not rest against the rivets that I'm going to put in. I would put a welt here because your blade's going to be rotating in here. But it doesn't rest against that, so I'm going to leave it and just trust that this leather, this tooling leather, is thick enough to protect it. But right here is crucial that we put a stopper on there. I actually found a piece that I can shape to match that. See, that will go fit in there now. And that part's actually got to be a little bit more like this. Alright, so we'll cut this piece out, and then I'm going to scrape this so I can get it to accept contact cement. What is that? 1,000 grit paper? Yeah, 1,000. But it's enough for leather. Okay, so I'm going to go sand this smooth and see what I've got, because I want an even line now up to that border line. Now let's talk rivets a little bit. Let me put my anvil aside here, my jewelry anvil. And we'll put the sheath here aside for just a second. A lot of people like copper. And this is a great big fat copper, but you see, I think that's going to be too big and gaudy. We could do it, but I'm afraid I'll have the edge hanging over the side if I hit that, because I want to hit in the middle of these. I'm going to put a rivet there, I'm going to put a rivet here, I'm going to put a rivet there. Make sure these corners never come apart. I like brass, and I think that's just the right size. That's kind of where I want it. And you put one here, put one here, and put one here. So now I've got to find, we're going to put these aside, because that's what I'm going to use. And I want to use the 3/4 inch ones, because this has got to come through there well enough. The burr that goes on this rivet can get down past that flare. So it helps you start it, but you want to get down past there so it grabs, and then we're gonna tap the top in over it. And this is what we set the rivets with. And we need 3 burrs, the traditional name for a rivet washer. There. 3 of those, set that aside. And I want to hold this as vertical as I can. Are we on? Yeah, you can see. Walk that back a little bit, right about there. Where I put these is also going to be my stitch line. Let's put him right on the point. That gives him plenty of room to act. Yeah, see, he went right through the middle of that welt. That looks good. Alright, now these are going to come up through the bottom like this. There it goes. There that one goes. And I really like these. They are the most solid connectors, and they are exactly the right fit every time because you cut them to fit. Along pretty fast. Alright, here we go. This one, I'm just going to set her down there. I like to go just far enough that that's laying flat. You can go a little further. Not too tight because it'll squeeze the leather too much. So I just want to make sure that those are flat. They're flat. They're straight. We don't want them to curve. They're good to go. Next step, I have decided I like that distance from the head. With the pliers that I have, or the snippers that I have, the best height for me to work with. This just is a process of experimentation. What works for me doesn't work for anybody else. Is I put this washer on there, and then because of the size of my nippers, if you have bigger nippers, you're already higher off. But I'll show you here. Okay, we got that one. So where it cuts is about, what is that, 1/16 of an inch or so up. If I use the washer, I get it just high enough. And why don't I want it cut flush? Because I'm going to be peening it down. And there's a lot of ways you can do this too, Amy. So they're all that height that I'm used to working with. And see, now we're going to peen over the top of the burr and lock it on and give it a nice finish. Now there's a number of ways you can do that. The first step is going to be to flatten out. See how that's got that pinch mark on there? Want to flatten that out. And we're just going to tap it. This brass is softer than, I want to make sure I'm doing it straight. Brass is softer than steel. Okay, got that one down there where I want it. Get this one down there where I want it. You see how it's widening out over the top of the burr? That will lock it on. That will not come off now. I'll have to drill it out if I want it off. And I made a nice flat round spot. Now what you do, you could leave it like that, but it snags on your fingers. So on the back of this tool, they have a domer. See how that's concave? And you can put that on there. And start to round it over. You know, and that makes a nice smooth surface. But I have so much trouble being consistent with this and then all of a sudden today I'm good. Well, what the heck. But I'm still going to do it my favorite way. Spin that around there, and then you feel it with your finger to see if it snags. Okay? That would work, and if I were making a purse or something, maybe I'd go for that look, but I'm working with axes. So I'm going to do peening, and what I'm going to do is try to hit off the center of this, and I like it because it helps to fold down that burr, so that otherwise I just put this on here, right? The burr's kind of cupped like that. Well, I'm going to be putting it back down, just going around this like this, and it puts that multi-faceted look on there. And I can feel it with my finger, no snags. And same with this one. You just go around like this, round and round, little taps, just little taps. And I don't know if you can see it, but I can see that the burr is laying down. Okay? The backs are flat, and that washer that had been cupped is laid down now. Smooth. Okay, so that part's done. Isn't that pretty? And then there's the back side. And whether you put the peen side up or the peen side down, that's personal choice. I like them up. I like that to be my decorative touch. I like that just to be the back. Okay, now what do we got to do? Now I have to put the strap on. Okay, so now we're just fitting everything where we want it before we do the final touches. And you probably won't get to see the final touches because it's kind of awkward to keep turning the camera off and on as I'm working. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick a spot where I want to put my the strap. And I usually like the strap because the strap's going to fit down below the head. I usually like it at an angle this way and pulling from here. Some? Alright. So let's do that. Just pick a spot, say. Alright, so we're going to put this right here. Good. Hit the line on both sides. That's good. And that's where the strap's going to go. Let's get the strap made. And then we'll put that on. Strap is right here. Get our cutting board again. Because I could carve it with a knife, but I'm not going to carve it with a knife. I'm going to use a strap cutter. What is holding me up there? Okay. And the strap cutter, I just try to figure out what is straight across right there and hit him. Evidently we hit him a couple times. And then he makes the perfect circle like that. And then for his hole, I don't have to drill it. I can drill it, but I don't have to drill it. I could just use... and there's other things too. I've got straight punches where I can just punch the hole. But this is handy. It's right there. And we're going to put him. And he cuts a nice clean hole. And that is the right size for that. Okay? And do I want to go ahead and color that right now? Yeah, we can do that. Dark brown. And that Q-tip went flying around here somewhere. We're going to do him. Good. But that edge is okay now. And we'll put him on here. And then I'll slide this over. That. And I put him over this corner with no holes. We'll put this guy right there. Tap him down. And he's good. Use my little ring trick. Get the nippers. Just little taps until the edges are gone. And that's good for me. Now I need to go get the axe because we're going to do a measurement here. I think I'm going to have a lot left over, but that's okay. This will be the first time your axe goes into its home. And this is a little bit bowed out right now. That'll be tight then. But you hook it like this and it should just slide in there. Custom fit. And look at that. When I put it in there, no rock, because the welt perfectly matches the bit, distributing the cutting force all along it and protecting the edge and the sheath. What am I trying to test here? Well, I want to see, where's that strap go? How long should it be? Alright, Amy, pick a buckle, any buckle. What buckle do you want? Okay. Let's look what we got to choose from. Oh, nice. Antiqued. Yeah, you probably want to go a little shinier than that. So I'm going to take that one. I like that rocker style. Why? Because you see that center bar sets up off the leather. And as you put your belt in, you push that down, your belt can fit in. And then you pull that back and it goes. That's great for those bigger axe heads. This one? Still an antique color. Let's go shinier color for the kind you got here. Because I don't think antique matches that. It would match it if it was more brown than pink. More brown than rose. Oh, see, there's that rocker style. And you got a roller. Okay, I like it. It matches your rivets. That's the one you're going with. Like I said, that's my favorite style of buckle. And we'll probably drill this hole so I can put the punch away. Still need this. Alright. So what happens now? Now, I'm going to go up this way. I don't want that riding on there. So what I'm going to do, put these together. Right here. Picked up the wrong hammer. That worked. We're going to do one hit wonder with you. Now I have to come through this first. There we go. And we're going to put that on the corner with no holes. There we go. We're going to set those down on there. Like that. Pound on that for a bit. And we're just going to pound on it, 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 pound on it. And getting it down so it doesn't catch your finger. Oh, that's nice. It just fits right on there. That's as tight as I want you to have to pull it. So I'll mark a spot here. Very nice. That's a keeper. Look at that. And it comes back out. These side bevels make it so it doesn't get stuck. It comes right back out.